You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Sabres zone.
Hi, good evening, folks. Welcome to the Saber Zone. This is the video on the channel, if you're new here, that discusses what one of you had to say. And yes, I know I've been gone. I've been a bad boy all week, guys, but I am making progress in my real life and my bills, and I have to. I just have no choice right now because I don't fall into this work all year long. I just don't, it's a seasonal thing. So I'm jumping back on the videos tonight, and I'll try to get this channel back on track, guys. Let's get into it. Here's the clip. And shout out goes to Hans Reftel, and Hans says, he goes, "Hi, I'm a Swedish hockey supporter who cheers for Frölunda. Thanks to Rasmus Dahlin, I have your club as my favorite team in the NHL. Go Buffalo Sabres. Keep them." Well, Hans, I think we're going to keep them. I think we're going to keep them. Yes, so you got to see firsthand what we drafted that year. You got to see what Frölunda, the special time that he spent there, and had this monster reputation before the draft. And Hans, as you've seen in the draft, it doesn't always just happen overnight, eh? Like when we first got Rasmus Dahlin, I can tell you as a Sabres fan, I think we expected the heavens to open right away. I mean, this is kind of how I felt as a fan. I think, oh my goodness, we are actually, going to get this guy. And but as time goes on, we see, even the guys who are pegged to just walk into the league and just do it. It doesn't always happen. It doesn't always happen. We've seen the guy, I believe, in Rasmus Dahlin the last year and a half, who we drafted first overall. That's what I believe now, because I think a lot of Sabres fans had very high expectations for year one, year two, year three. You know what I mean? It kind of goes with the territory of being drafted number one overall, even being a high draft. I mean, you see, Hans, this year, take a look at the Buffalo fans, how we're hyped about Zach Benson. Take a look. And he went number 13. And you see the way the Sabres fans are talking. So imagine 5 years ago, Rasmus Dahlin, how we were acting. Think about it, But yes, I believe, we have the best defenseman in hockey. I know that still has to be proved. I believe we do. I actually am convinced. I don't believe, I'm convinced that this will be the modern day Bobby Orr. I'm not going to say he's going to be as great as Bobby Orr. That's ridiculous to say. That's ridiculous. That is way too far gone, to reach. Because I believe that was the greatest hockey player I've ever seen. And I don't want to put that in Rasmus Dahlin. But I do believe that this young man will be the best the best defenseman in the NHL in hockey. I do believe that. I really do. And a lot of people, even our own fans, will say, yeah, but we have this guy over here and that guy over there, and he's not this guy and he's not that guy. It doesn't really matter, It just, all that matters is, will this superstar continue to grow? And I think he will. I mean, look at the age he's at, folks. And he's really he's on the cusp now of taking over the NHL. He really is. And I think this year, Rasmus Dahlin, I think 30 goals and 70 assists is not like a pipe dream. I think it's a reality. That's how good this guy is. I believe he could be that good this year and hit more, which I think he'll do. He has a mean streak. There's no doubt Rasmus Dahlin has a mean streak, folks. So, Hans got to see him firsthand when he was very, very young and just a kid playing in where Frölunda is like a pro league. And he got to see him play with men, right? So Hans got to see him firsthand. And we're getting to see, reaping the benefits now of what some of these fans out there are seeing in Sweden before what we're seeing here now with the Sabres. And as we move on into Dahlin's career, I'm curious, guys. Will there be a string? Now, this is something that might sound far-fetched, okay? To some of you, not to me. Will there be a string of 5 Norris trophies in a row? Is that coming? We better lock them up. I swear, we better lock them up. And no, it still hasn't happened yet. See, guys, this is why on my channel I'll say that, you know, it's a rumor. It's a rumor. But I do believe that the rumor had merit. I do believe it was true, actually. And I do believe that, to be honest, I believe they have a deal made and they just want to announce it at the right time. That's just kind of where I'm coming from as a fan. And we got to lock in Dahlin, guys. This is most likely our future captain. As this continues to unfold, you know, I can see a situation, guys, you know, like a potential situation. I don't think they would go with flipping captains like we did with Briere and Drury because of the way that ended. It worked, but I guess I'm just attached to that era where that team was so successful that I'm willing to do that if that's what it takes to win again, you know. But no, I think we'll just have one captain, and because I think we'd be flipping it now, to be honest, with Gergensons and Poso. Probably will be flipping it if we are going to be that kind of club. I think Adams has a set way of doing things. I don't believe flipping captains will be one of them, but I'm willing to do it with him and Tuck eventually, if that's what it takes. Like anything to get this team close to a Stanley Cup, right? So as the years go on, Hans, I think we can all enjoy together some pretty good years. I can tell you that if you're a new fan of the team, I would suggest you look at the history. It's a Swedish-friendly team, historically speaking. I can go back to the days there's a lot of guys I don't want to start mentioning. You go back to the Scotty Bowman days, and Finland too. We're very Finland team also. A lot of Finnish players have come and gone in Buffalo, and Buffalo right now seems to be on the cusp of greatness with let's face it, like when's the last time we seen, you know, there is guys, I get it, like Forsberg, there is great Swedish players, but I'm talking a guy that is like, I believe Rasmus Dahlin's headed for such greatness, folks. I just do. Like, I didn't believe it a few years ago. I didn't doubt it, but I didn't believe it would turn so fast as it did. And you guys remember, not last year, the year before, where it just seemed like everything flipped. The script flipped. He went from this guy that we can't take it anymore. We just can't take it anymore with his defensive errors, to this guy that really got better defensively pretty quick, but he turned it up offensively like crazy. And we're in that era. So, Hans, you'll see in our history, I would go through, maybe I'll do it I might do a video one day if you request it during the season. We'll go through all the Swedish players in our history in Buffalo. There's a lot of good ones over the years. To come up with names right now, I'd have to look back at the 80s to say, of course him, of course him, of course him. But we were a step ahead, I thought, of the NHL when it come to that at certain points in our history, I thought. Especially with Scotty Bowman. Scotty Bowman was very open-minded to European players. So that's the memories I have of the 80s, but that's a whole other video. Look, we got, I believe, guys, the best defenseman in hockey. I'll just say it. I think Makar's great. There's no doubt in my mind he's a great defenseman. There's other greats in the league, but Makar is the man right now. He's the man that you got to hit off the top of the hill if you're going to be the best. I think Rasmus Dahlin can do that. I think Rasmus Dahlin was on a very unfortunate situation in Buffalo with a bad team. And he paid the price with a lot of slack, guys. Let's not forget that when he's fighting for his contract. Don't forget how much slack this young man took in Buffalo too, when the team was losing, by people like us online talking. Don't think just because he's rich doesn't mean he's not human, and doesn't look online and see the notes and see what people say about him, you know. So I think we have the best defenseman in hockey. I think we will for the next 10 years. Starting this year. I think Rasmus Dahlin's era is entering. And when Rasmus Dahlin's era is entering, Hans, I believe that the Buffalo Sabres Stanley Cup era will just be starting. You know, I can see the Sabres winning multiple Stanley Cups with this man because he is a special talent. There is no doubt about it. He's a special talent. And I will be thrilled if we lock him in today at 10.5 like I was talking about in that video. I will be thrilled because I know what this means to you folks in Buffalo. Fans everywhere. Look at Hans commenting, you know, talking about like how he's a Sabres fan because of Rasmus Dahlin, guys. I mean, what's that say? You know, he was a Rasmus Dahlin fan when Rasmus was a young kid, still young, but a young kid with pimples on his face playing against professionals. Hans was a fan of him even then. So think about it, you know. Let's leave it there, guys. And a good topic, Hans. I can't talk as much as I'd like to about Rasmus Dahlin because it's a Buffalo Sabres channel. I have to talk about other things. But he is one of my favorite topics these days. See you guys in the next one.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to ensure Dimension access.